Now, Adobe Media Encoder is included with Creative Cloud. So if you have a Creative Cloud subscription, you already have access to it. But if you don't have a Creative Cloud subscription and you don't have access to Media Encoder, there are free alternatives. My free alternative of choice is MPEG Streamclip. It's extremely easy to use, very efficient, and produces fantastic results. To get it, just go to squared5.com, which you can find the link in the notes of the video right now. It's free for both Mac and PC, so just download whichever one you need. Just like Media Encoder, we need to open up a file before we can do anything. So I'm going to drag my same ProRes QuickTime into MPEG Streamclip. It opens it up and allows me to scrub through it. If I come up to File, you see that we have lots of different choices for how you can export videos. So if you needed to export to a specific format, you could make that choice. I'm going to be exporting to an MP4 just like in Media Encoder. So I'm going to click on that. And here we have our compression settings. Now again, there are a whole lot of options on this window, but I'm just going to tell you about the ones that you need to know in order to compress videos that look nice when you upload them to places like YouTube and Vimeo. Alright, so first of all we have the compression set to H.264, which is what I want. The quality set to 50%, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that all the way up to 100%. I'm going to leave multipass and B-frames off, because in my experience, when you have multipass checked, MPEG Streamclip will continue to do one pass after another when it's compressing and never end. I don't know why this happens. I've tried to research it online and I cannot figure out why it doesn't end after 2 or 3 passes. So I'm going to leave that unchecked. Then I want to limit my data rate, because if I don't, the file size will be pretty large. So I can type in whatever data rate I want and choose the units. If I take a look at my options, we have kilobits per second, megabits per second, and you can tell that they're bits because it's a lowercase b, and up here we have an uppercase b, which is kilobytes per second and megabytes per second. The reason it's important to distinguish these two is because there are actually 8 bits in a byte and 8 megabits in a megabyte. So that's why if you hear an internet service provider tell you that you're getting 100 megs per second download speed, that doesn't mean you're getting 100 megabytes, because internet speed is measured in megabits. You're actually getting an eighth of that. So since Media Encoder was working in megabits, I'm going to go ahead and just select that and type in 16 just like we did in Media Encoder. And right away MPEG Streamclip gives me an estimated file size. 359 megabytes is a great file size for YouTube or Vimeo. For the sound, I only have 2 options, AAC or no sound. So I'm going to leave that at AAC so the audio comes through. I do want stereo audio, not mono. I'll leave the sample rate set to auto so that it just inherits the sample rate from the audio of the source video. And I want the highest possible quality for the audio compression, so I'll leave that at 256 kilobits per second. For the frame rate, you could type in a custom frame rate here, but if you leave it blank, it just inherits the source. I don't need a frame blend or downscale, so I'm going to leave those unchecked. Then we can come over to the frame size. By default, it's set to unscaled, which is what I actually want, but I could change it to anything I want, any of these presets, or type in a custom resolution. So if I were to set this to one of the custom resolutions like 1280 by 720, and I made a preset from these settings, any video I put into this preset will always export at 1280 by 720. And if I leave it set to unscaled, any video I put in will remain the same size when you compress it. So I know that I want to save this preset with an unscaled resolution, so I'm going to leave it set there at unscaled. Now my video is progressive, it's not interlaced. So I want to make sure to uncheck interlace scaling, and I don't need to de-interlace the video. The field dominance can be left at upper field first. I don't need to rotate, zoom, crop, pan, anything like that, but those controls are there if you ever needed to. And now I'm ready to compress my video. So I could click Make MP4. But before I do that, I'm going to save this as a preset. Click on New, say yes, and then type in H.264-unscaled 16 megabits per second, and then the audio compression rate of 256 kilobits per second. I'll click OK, then I'll click Save, Yes, and now that preset's saved, and I can load it for any future compression. Then I'll click Make MP4, it'll ask me where I want to put it, so I'll just type in MPEG Streamclip, hit Enter, and we've got this exporter preview which shows us where we are in the video, as well as a progress bar that also tells us where we are in the compression. I don't need to see a preview of where the compression is, so I'm going to close it, and if anything that'll just take a little bit more load off of my processor so it can focus on compressing. And once this is done, I'll have a compressed video ready to upload to the web. Alright, the compression is finished. Let's take a look at the file size. We've got 375 megabytes, very close to the estimated file size. And the compression looks great. Again, you can't really trust the quality of what you're looking at because the video you're watching now is actually compressed as well. But I can tell you it's very close to the original. It's fantastic quality for the internet. And that's all there is to MPEG Streamclip. And that's all there is to compressing great looking videos for the web. I hope that you enjoyed this class, and I would love it if you left me a review. If you have any questions at all, please ask them on the Ask Me Anything thread on the community page, and I'll be happy to help you out. Once you've made your own compression preset, test it out on a video, upload it to the internet, and share it on your project page. Thanks again for taking this class, and I'll see you next time.